Hello everyone, I am Suraj, currently pursuing my BE second year in computer science, and today I'll be discussing about the operating system for Mac OS X. The topics that are to be covered in this presentation are knowing about the Macintosh operating system, or it is also known as the Mac OS, and the different versions of the Mac OS that are released by the Apple company, knowing about the Unix based operating system and about its properties, and also knowing that is Mac OS a Unix based operating system or not. Then we'll come to the applications of the Mac OS, and finally the advantages and disadvantages of the Mac OS. Starting with the introduction, what is Mac OS? The Apple company is the one which designs the Mac OS, and to access the computer Mac OS, operating system is the main thing which comes into the picture, which is preloaded on every new Apple Macintosh computers. Mac OS makes it possible to complete all kinds of everyday tasks for the users. For example, taking a picture, editing it, checking your email, browsing through the internet, listening to music, and playing games. Mac OS, which is originally named as Mac OS X until 2012, and then people started calling it OS X. It is the current Mac operating system that officially succeeded in the classic Mac OS in 2001. Next, the desktop. The first desktop version of the Apple was released on March 2001, which was supporting the Aqua user interface. Since then, with the developing technologies, the features and new versions of macOS kept on adding and have been released. Since 2011, new releases have been offered on a yearly basis. So let's know more about the Macintosh operating system. For all Apple laptops and desktops, the operating system is the macOS. The macOS is a graphical OS that powers every Mac. OSs are the softwares that interact with the computer hardware, thus allocating resources that are necessary to complete a given task by the user. For example, for running an application in the Mac OS, a user should allocate the resources. For that to happen, OSs must interact with the computer hardware. So these softwares of the OSs allocate resources including memory, processing power, and the file storage. So the releases of different macOS versions are that are released by the Apple company are Kodiak, which is a public beta, Cheetah of the version 10.0, Puma of the version 10.1, Jaguar of the version 10.2, Panther of the version 10.3, Tiger of the version 10.4, Leopard of the version 10.5, and finally Snow Leopard of the version 10.6. We'll be knowing about the Unix operating system. So is Mac OS a Unix based operating system or not? The answer for this is yes. Mac OS is a Unix based operating system. The Unix operating system was developed by Ken Thompson, Dennis Ritchie at AT&T Bell Laboratories. Unix is a very powerful operating system. The main purpose of developing the Unix is for mini computers that has been ported to various hardware platforms. The Unix has a reputation in providing stability, security, scalability, which makes it a popular choice for enterprise level computing. So for this reason it is used in every enterprise level computing. So the Unix was basically designed to provide simple powerful tools that can be combined together to perform complex tasks in the computer. It features a command line interface which allows every users to interact with the system through a series of commands rather than through a graphical user interface. Next, coming to the features of the Unix, which includes multitasking, command structure, file security and protection, communication, accounting, Unix tools and utilities, open source, portable, and multi-user. We'll be seeing this one by one. Coming to the first one, multitasking. The Unix has a unique feature of multitasking in which more than one task can be performed in one shot from the same terminal. so that one task is performed as a foreground and the other tasks are being performed at the background. Next, it is a multi-user operating system in which more than one users can use the same computer as well as the resources like main memory, hard disk, tape drives, etc. Multiple users can log on to the system from different terminals and run different jobs that share the resources of a command terminal. It deals with the principle of time sharing. Time sharing is done by a scheduler that divides the CPU time into several segments, also called a time slice. Each segment is assigned a specific task by the CPU system. The time slice is tiny. When time is expired, it passes control to the following user on the system. Each user executes their set of instructions within their time slice. Next, portability. The code can be transferable from different machines and platforms with an easy transfer. Since a significant portion of Unix is written in C language and other are only a tiny portion is coded in assembly language for specific hardware. Next, coming to the file security and protection. As it is a multi-user operating system, it requires some of the security or else the resources can be set in danger. Unix has a different level of security using assigning username, password to individual users, ensuring the authentication at the level providing file access permission via read, write and execute, and lastly file encryption to change the file into an unreadable format. Next, the Unix is an open source which allows every individual to access it through the browser. Next, coming to the accounting. The Unix keeps an account of jobs created by the user. This feature enhances the system performance in terms of CPU monitoring and disk spacing checking. It allows you to keep an account of disk space used by each user, and the disk space can be limited by each other. You can assign every user a different disk quota. The Unix provides various tools and utilities to the users which can access each and every application. For example, Unix grep, set and awk, etc. Some of the general purpose tools are compilers, interpreters, network applications. It also includes various server programs which provide remote and administrative services. Next, coming to the command structure of the Unix command structure are easy to understand as well as simple to use. While working in the Unix environment, the Unix commands are case sensitive and are written in lower cases. Next, the communication, which is a very important feature of the Unix. It provides the user to communicate to the worldwide network. It supports various communication facilities provided using the write command, mail command and the talk command. So now we'll be seeing some common applications in the Mac OS. There are several useful applications that are pre-installed on every devices of Mac. These apps are sufficient for the user to accomplish most common tasks without a need to install any other apps on their device. These apps can be opened by clicking their icon on the dock at the bottom of the screen, or if the app isn't present there, it can be found by clicking the launchpad icon. We'll see some of the apps that are present in the Mac OS. For example, Safari. Safari is an easy to use web browser built for Mac and has many of the same features as other browsers. Bookmarks can be shared across the devices and a built-in menu helps you share web pages on social media. Next, the Mac Mail. The Mail app downloads your email to your computer and organizes it. The app also acts as a new interface for your email and has features like markup which allows you to draw on attachments. Then the Apple Calendar, which can help you organize your schedule with its color-coded interface. You can easily switch among views for the day, week, month or year. Calendar features several integrated tools including notification, travel planning and sharing. The iTunes gives you access to Apple expansive online store of music, movies and TV shows. iTunes saves and plays your media on your computer and can help organize your media into custom playlists. App Store. The App Store provides a seamless way to search for, purchase, and install apps online. It also updates your apps automatically while you are doing other things. Next, the Time Machine. Time Machine can back up your files automatically to an external hard drive or network server. Once configured, Time Machine will perform automatic backups on a regular schedule. Next, we'll be seeing about the system preference. With the system preferences, one can adjust computer settings, which includes different configuration settings as well as many options to personalize some functions of your computer. Next, coming to the advantages and disadvantages of the Mac operating system. Coming to the advantages, the Mac OS has fewer virus attacks as Mac OS is the second most used operating system and has less number of active users, so it has fewer virus attacks also. The other reason of virus safety is its Unix relationship with which is more secure than Windows OS. Next, the Mac has a good customer support. Mac users get good response from its support team as compared to other operating systems. Apple has skilled engineers which helps the user in fixing the issues in their hardware and software. Next is a similar GUI for all the products. Mac OS has the same graphical user interface as found in other Apple products like iPhone and tablets. So if a person shifts from other Apple products, he feels comfortable using Mac OS. Next is the performance and long life. As Apple makes both hardware and software, so its hardware communication is very efficient and it improves performance. The operating system and hardware work great. Apple computer has a longer life than compared to other computers. The battery timing of Mac laptops is also longer. Next is Mac OS support NTFS and FAT. Mac OS support Windows Live System formats including both NTFS and FAT. The Mac OS can also run on Windows. You can run the Windows operating system if you have Mac OS installed by using Boot Camp or parallel softwares. Next, coming to the disadvantages of the Mac OS. The first thing is it's very expensive. The minimum cost of a Mac PC is higher than $1,000. Next, it has a fewer games and software. Most game developers prefer to make games for Windows OS because they have more percentage of users. Mac users have fewer games available. Also, Mac users have low graphics in them. Next, there is no hardware customization. If you buy a Mac computer or laptop, then you cannot change its hardware parts like processor, graphics card, etc. For some Mac computers, you can change hardware and RAM, but it is not for all Mac computers. It is also not possible to change other hardware accessories like internal computer parts. The only choice you have is to buy a new Mac computer. On every major release of your operating system, you have to change your computer, else 50% of your operating system features won't work. Next is the Windows cannot read the Mac OS file system. Mac OS can read NTFS and FAT Windows format, but Windows cannot read the Mac OS file system. You need to install third-party software in Windows to do so. Some other software like Footnotes has compatibility issues while moving files from Mac OS to Windows. Next, the disadvantage is there are less hardware used. The new version of Mac OS computers supports less USB ports and they also are not shipped with CD or DVD writer, which makes it a disadvantageous for the user to use it. Thank you everyone. I hope you understood all the concepts that I have covered in this presentation and hope you enjoyed learning. Thank you.